Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dream Leapers Inspiration. I'm your host, Harriet Cole. As always, honored to be with you today. And I hope that you are taking this moment to be in the present, to just be wherever you are. I know you've paused because you've decided to connect here with me and each other on this broadcast. But be here fully. Make that choice to just be present. Breathe in the moment. Let's just do it. Be here. Whatever the swirl of activity is that's happening in your world, and all of us are busy, give yourself the gift of being present right now because you deserve it. You deserve to be still, to be here, to feel whatever it is that you're feeling, to notice what's going on in your world. And so often we are so busy that we don't do that. We don't open our eyes and just look around. You ever notice that? You're moving so fast that you whiz by people, situations, insights, because you're just on the go. I listened to a spiritual advisor say some time ago that she met a 90-something-year-old woman, and that woman was saying, wow, she's so busy. And she was chuckling as she remarked on this, but the point was, at any age, at every stage, in the world in which we live today, people are often busy, filling their time with so many different activities, thoughts, checklists. And you know, I'm a huge believer in the checklist. But do you put stillness in that on that list? Do you put time for self on that list? Do you carve out space to just be on that list? And you know, there are many studies that point to the power of rest, the power of sleep, of because it's during that time that your body rejuvenates, right? We're aware of this. Even as many people who are aware would say, oh my goodness, you know, I can't sleep whatever that 6 to 8 hours a day that um, is the recommendation because there's just not enough time in the day. How many people connected right now say that? Well, yeah, I know. I'm supposed to. Or my watch, one of those smart watches. And this year, a new thing popped up. I don't know whether it is new, but it's new for mine. It decided to tell me when I should go to bed and when I should get up based upon what my schedule tends to be. And it added more time for sleep than I normally give. And what it added was within that 6 to 8 hour window that is recommended. And I don't always get that. So every evening, I get a chime. It's actually a very pleasant sound and vibration on my watch that tells me it says protect your sleep. Those are the words that show up on my watch. 15 minutes before it is telling me I should go to bed, it says protect your sleep, which is a really interesting concept. Of all the words that could have been used, that these were the words there, protect your sleep, that it is that important that you should protect it, right? And I wonder how many of us do that and how many of us protect whatever that space is that we need in order to be whole, in order to be fulfilled. And I'm going to guess that people do it more for external things than for internal things. So, for example, we often do it for work because we work in exchange for money and fulfillment, but especially for the resources that we need in order to live our lives. But what about the inner resources that we need to cherish and respect and honor and protect? What about those? How often do we think about those in ways that are beneficial for us and for those around us. I think it's an interesting thing to contemplate. And what I've discovered is that when we do protect those things that are so valuable, then our view gets a little softer. And actually, two things, softer and sharper, and those two don't necessarily go together. But softer meaning there's more tenderness in the way that we can look at ourselves and others, which is softer. But sharper is that there's more clarity, that you can sometimes see more clearly what's in front of you when you have protected the things that are important to you, especially your spirit. And I think that happens when you take care of yourself. And so what does this have to do with the topic for today? Because this is an interesting topic. I wonder what you thought when you saw the title, Look for Miracles. Look for miracles. So I want to ask you first, what do you look for? What do you look for when you are going about your day? When you are just walking down the street, driving in your car, uh, walking down the hall, what do you look for? What is your gaze looking for? Are you looking for challenges? Are you looking for obstacles? Are you looking for opportunities? What are you looking for? A few weeks ago, we had a Dream Leapers intention, and we talked inspiration. We talked about intention, and the quote, I can't remember whose quote it was, but part of the quote was, when you have laser sharp intention and you work really hard toward a goal. So maybe this topic was focus. I'm going to think maybe this was the one that was on focus. Anyhow, when you have laser sharp intention and you focus and work on whatever it is, at a certain point there comes a flow. And in that flow, it can often feel magical. This one, what you choose to focus on determines the quality of your life. Yes, thank you, Fallon, for pulling that one up. And there was another one that had the word magical in it. I don't know if you can find it, but if you can, look for that. But the point is the same. When you focus, whatever you focus on is what is going to manifest. And it's an outer and inner focus that I'm talking about. That yes, you focus your lenses, you're looking out at the world on what are the great things that can happen? What are the great things that are happening? Where is the greatness, right? But also inside, what can you do to cultivate the greatness? What can you do to fortify the greatness? And there are things that we can do. And when you do them, what happens? So I'm going to say miracles happen. Sometimes they do. And actually, there are some who believe that they happen all the time. Now, part of this is when you're in alignment, that flow happens. And when there seems to be ease and beauty and all these things, it can feel miraculous, especially if it was really difficult moments before. And then sometimes, and probably every time this occurs, there's this, whatever the effort is that you put forth, and then there's grace. God's grace is there to lift us up, to show us that grace is always there and beauty is always there, even when it is difficult, right? But you have to recognize it, you have to believe it, you have to trust, you have to have faith that it's possible. When you open your eyes and you notice, wow, look at what just happened. This is fantastic. How did this fantastic thing just happen? So when we're in nature, it's easier to notice. So, I live in New York City. It's not as easy to notice the natural things here because there's so many buildings and so many obstacles, visual obstacles and physical obstacles. But when you go, like my happy place is at the beach. If you ever have looked at a sunrise or a sunset and you see the magnificence of it, to me, that's a miracle every day. Wow, look at that. Look at the majesty of that. It is so much bigger than we are, and yet touches each of us. When you can pause and notice it and see it, it's like, wow, wow. And take it in and appreciate it, that's honoring the miracle. So Virginia just wrote, "Good morning, Harriet. I look for the beauty. I call the rain liquid sunshine." Oh, that's nice. There's so much negativity going on. The beauty is there. We just have to look for it. Yes, that is it, Virginia. Hey, perfect timing. Let's go to the quote that I found for this week, 'cause this is perfect timing. It says, "Give yourself a gift of 5 minutes of contemplation in awe of everything you see around you. Go outside and turn your attention to the many miracles around you. This 5 minute a day regimen of appreciation and gratitude will help you to focus your life in awe." That's from Wayne Dyer. He's an amazing being and someone who'd be great to read. Let me say it again. What Wayne Dyer says is give yourself a gift of 5 minutes of contemplation, just 5 minutes in awe of everything you see around you. Go outside and turn your attention to the many miracles around you. This 5 minute a day regimen of appreciation and gratitude will help you to focus your life in awe. Think of that. First of all, it's 5 minutes. We all should be able to give 5 minutes to vision, insight, connection to the divine, at least 5 minutes every day. And this is saying, Wayne Dyer is saying, wherever you are, because I just mentioned I'm in New York and it's harder to see, but guess what? It is also amazing here. You go outside, look around, and you see people from all over the world communing together. This is a beautiful thing and not necessarily to be taken for granted. You see people helping each other. You see the wonders of technology on display. You also have glimmers of the sky and the moon. My family and I often do moon spottings. Like during the day, we notice the glimmer of the moon and how big it is, at what stage it is in its cycle, looking through skyscrapers. We can take 5 minutes every day and look in awe around us at what we see and be grateful for it and notice what's miraculous about these things that exist in our world. And some things are really big and some things are smaller, but they're all worth it. Or so I think. They're all worth it. And I'm gonna give you why this idea came to me about looking for miracles. And I appreciate that you indulge me as I share with you the journey with my mother. So I've told you these have been some rocky weeks. I call them tender, very tender times for us. We did not think that she would ever be able to get out of bed. She has been bedridden for a couple of months now, which was just new for these couple of months. Still with the smile on her face, still finding the joy in each moment, but physically bedridden. So 2 days ago, my sister Stephanie went to visit her, and she was not in her apartment. She lives in an assisted living facility, but we go there all the time. And she walked in. You can imagine her heart sank when she saw that she wasn't in there. Like, what in the world? Come to find out, the nurse's aide was able to get her up get her in her chair, and she went downstairs to play bingo. She was playing bingo every single day for a few years now. We didn't think she would ever be able to play bingo again. She was downstairs in the activity room waiting for bingo, and when it was time, she played. Talk about a miracle. I mean, this is and I can't even find the words for it. We could not believe it. She couldn't believe it, but she was so happy. She was able to have an aspect of her quality of life that she'd been missing. People living there were so excited to see her. They told her how much they had been praying for her. Yes, Virginia, praise God, it is. That was a miracle for her, for the people in the community, for our family. She had to rest for the time that she had to rest. She's still in a tender space, but to be able to have joy now in this moment, to have enough power within herself to be able to be upright and alert enough to do something that makes her happy, that's a miracle. I mean, that's a miracle that is like, huh? Did that really happen? Okay, that's my mom, but what about you? What about you? What in your life seems miraculous for you now? Where would you like the miracle to be? Look, Wayne Dyer says, give yourself a gift of 5 minutes of contemplation and awe of everything you see around you. Go outside and turn your attention to the many miracles around you. When you do that with the attitude of appreciation and gratitude, what do you get? Sometimes it's little things, sometimes it's huge things. From being bedridden to playing bingo, from worrying about how you're gonna put food on the table to getting the gift of a job or someone's generosity. What are those miracles that are happening in your life? Look for them. Trust that they are there. Trust that greatness is right there, right in front of you, right in front of your face. If you trust that, then what happens? If you really believe that you deserve to see the miracles, to experience the miracles, then what happens? Everything changes. See, a lot of times we don't think we deserve it. Oh, well, that happens to other people. Those people over there get to have those experiences. I don't get that. When I get to a certain level in my life, maybe it'll happen for me. This sort of us and them experience that so many people have, where they think somebody else is deserving, but not them, for whatever the reasons may be. I want to say to you, stop thinking that. Each and every one of us deserves happiness, deserves plenty, deserves joy. Uh, 5 is the number of grace. Yes, yes. That's Pamela, right? 5 is the number of grace. We all deserve it. We all deserve joy. We all deserve peace. We all deserve respect. And it starts with how we treat ourselves. And it doesn't mean it's easy. Nobody says it's easy, but it's worth it. So when you put yourself in alignment with your beliefs, with your values, with your faith, and then take those 5 minutes to just consciously look around with awe. See, what do I see now? So with my mom, everybody was happy. The nurse's aide, Kim, she's like, "Yeah, we got her up." She was brimming with joy. There's another woman who's 97, completely able-bodied, Miss P. She's shaking her hands, my sister said, going, "Yay!" The power of prayer. The power of prayer. When people offer their prayers for each other, it means something. It actually works. And to pray for the best outcome for yourself and others is a good thing. It hopefully is part of your daily ritual, you know? And by the way, if anybody wants to come and join this conversation, you can. You go to harrietcole.com/inspiration and you can talk and I can bring you up on the screen. And also you can write as you have been in the comments. Your comments are always welcome. Hope that this message is touching you. Look for miracles. Why? Because what you look for is what you get. What you focus on is what you get. I did I'm doing this 100-day plan with some folks, and we're going to be doing another one starting in a month or so. But I just did a mini one the other day at a women's conference for an organization called Worth Media. And there was one woman there who was desperate for a lifeline. Professional woman, mid-career, and at the same time, it was almost like she was walking around in a cloud of negativity. She was saying, "Well, I know this can't happen for me. I want this, but it's not possible." And everything that she said was either fronted by a negative or backed by a negative. And I know and have learned long ago the power of language is just as big as anything. And so I said, say what you want. Don't cripple yourself by saying what you can't do, what can never happen for you, what's too late to happen for you. Stop saying that. Say what you want. Say what you believe you deserve. Say what you need. Speak it into existence. Look for the miracle. If you look for miracles, if you look for the potential, the greatest potential in the moment, then what happens? Think about it. If you set your sights on seeing, welcoming, being grateful for, cultivating the miracle, then what happens? It grows. But if you are so set on not believing that it could happen to you, it could be right in front of your face and you don't even see it. There's so many examples of that. You probably have examples of that even in your own life, where something was in front of your face and you didn't notice it because you were being negative, you were upset, you were not in a space of equilibrium. It's happened to me. I mean, I think it happens to everyone. But that's not the space you wanna be in. One thing that as as last year turned into this year, one of the things that was at the very top of my list is that I wanted peace. I want peace in my spirit. I want peace in my life. I want peace in my sleep. I want peace. Do I have it every day? No. Do I look for it every day? Yes. When I feel really incensed about something, upset, angry, frustrated, afraid, sad, there's a list. Those are on my list. You may have other things on your list, but when I feel any of those things and I recognize that I'm in the space of one of those, that is when I can look for the miracle to lift it. What can I do in order to lift the weight of whatever that is? Because any of those emotions clouds my vision. I'm not able to see as clearly. I'm not able to make the smartest decisions. I'm not able to communicate in a tone that is loving and respectful if I'm in the swirl of one of those emotions. And so that's when I make the conscious choice to breathe and to I notice that, okay, this is what's happening now. I invited to go. I invited to go. This is easy for me to say to you right now. It is so not easy to do. When you're in the throes of one of these experiences, it is you can feel like you're fire breathing mad and you don't want to put out the flame. You just want the flame to get bigger and bigger and bigger because that's how these intense emotions can be. In those moments, look for the miracle. What could the miracle be to help you, to help soothe your spirit, to help calm you down, to help bring you back to center? What could it be? What could it be for you? Think about it. How do you take care of yourself in those moments when the emotion is seems bigger than anything? And it could be circumstances. It's not just these are real things that we're going through. But what can you do in those moments? What have you done? Think about past experience. What have you done to take care of yourself when you've been in one of those spaces that is not balanced? We've done many breathing exercises together over time. What about taking a breath? What about being still, um, tapping into center? What about doing that just a couple of minutes and brings you right back to center? Do you do that? Do you remember? Because you can do it anywhere. I'm wondering, what do you do? And if you will make the choice this week, because this week is when we are looking to make the conscious effort to look for miracles. So a miracle that we can look for is peace, right? We can look for finding peace in the swirl. Virginia says, this is so helpful. Yes, I am sad at times, but it does not last. I'm grateful just to be able to enjoy the day. Yes, being in the moment. See, that's part of it. Be in the moment, be here now. If we are dwelling in the past, what happened, then we're not in the moment. If we are worrying about the future, which isn't here yet, we're not being in the moment. So, one way of focusing our attention and looking for miracles is it opening our eyes literally. What is in front of me? Who is in front of me? What do I see? And what do I see that is nurturing to my spirit? I've told you all a few times about a couple months ago, I was walking down the street. It was cold. I don't like the cold too much. I was walking down the street, 116th Street, and a man who he was disheveled. He looked like he might be living on the street. He was sort of lumbering up the street and he looked at me and he said I don't know the exact words, but hey, sis, give me a smile. And the way he said the words he said, that was the point of it. It was, whew, it was like a laser of love. Whew. And it startled me in the best possible way. I don't know what my expression was, but I had a lot on my mind and it was cold. So I was probably frowning. I certainly wasn't smiling, which I often do, like my mom, but I wasn't smiling. And his words and energy penetrated me and broke out the smile. And I was so grateful. That was a miracle, I think. This being passing me in the street, and often, unfortunately, we put blinders on and don't choose not to notice people who are suffering because it's hard to see suffering every day. We often choose to only see what we want to see and block everything out. And living in New York, I can tell you cannot look at every single person. You won't be able to complete your day. But in this case, We saw each other for a moment, and it was the best moment ever, which is why I bring it up again and again because it was so powerful for me. He broke through whatever the armor was that I was wearing and broke out the smile. Find your smile. Look for miracles in your day, today, and every day. Be in the present and look around with tender eyes for the gifts that are right there for you. They are there. Look for the miracles. Take care of yourself so you can revive. Like my mom, who literally could not sit up in the bed and was playing bingo 2 days ago. Look for the miracles. They are there for you and for me and for everyone. They are right there, right there. So see them, be grateful for them, let them nourish you so that you can move forward no matter what is going on. You can find joy, even in the most tender moments. Look for the miracles. Until next time, have a great day and make it count. Namaste.